It's a cloudy, blustery day, as A.A. Milne would say, at Mountain View High School. We got a moderate chance of rain today, and currently it is 59 degrees. Mike Messner here, bringing you the play-by-play between the Menlo Knights and the home team Mountain View Spartans. Both teams are coming in with an identical 2-3 record so far this season. Both of that is in non-league play at this point. The statistics in terms of scoring do favor Menlo. If you look at the scoring statistics for all 7 innings, they outscore the Mountain View Spartans. We don't have any reliable numbers for the extra innings. People to watch in this particular game from Mountain View: Tristan Silveira, number 3. He's leading the team on batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging. Number 1, Aran Cox. He's leading field percentage. And number 14, John Andrade, is leading the team in terms of win-loss percentage. All of the numbers for Mountain View are way ahead of the national average. In some cases, almost twice that. So Menlo's got its work cut out for it. But we're going to see what's going to happen this afternoon. First up for the Knights is J.C. Ng. He's going to be playing left field. I'll tell you more about the starting lineups after we get going here. And on the mound is Will Fimbres for the Spartans. I take that back. That is James Hoyt pitching for Mountain View. I beg your pardon. That one was outside, ball 1. Here's the pitch. That's in there for a strike. Ng holding on that one. That evens the count at 1-1. Hoyt delivers. In again. That brings it to 1-2. J.C. Ng is a freshman this year. As I said, he'll be playing left field, and I think he thought about that one, but decided not to go for it. Here's the pitch. That one is fouled off behind the Menlo dugout. Still 1-2. James Hoyt is a sophomore. He stands 6'1", weighs 165. So he's going to be an asset to this Mountain View Spartans team for a couple of years yet. Here's the pitch. And that one will be hit out of play. Hoyt gets another one. In addition to pitching, Hoyt has been known to do a few rounds at first base, and he's also played outfield. Quite a versatile young man. Here's his delivery. And Ng fouls that one back. That'll be a souvenir for somebody who's behind the backstop. Still 1-2. Mountain View in the yellow and black. Menlo in the gray. Drive out to center. And it's picked up by Cox, the outfielder. 1 away. That'll bring up Ian Collins. He's the catcher, number 13. And he'll watch one just outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the delivery. That one's high, 2-0. Hoyt loosening up there. Collins, a left-handed batter. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now. Or 2-1, that is. And that one is up and out of play. Evens the count now in 2-2. Hoyt getting the ball back. James Hoyt, one of only 3 sophomores on this Mountain View team, the other being Kay Cox and Tristan Silviera. We'll be seeing more of them as the afternoon goes on. And here's the pitch. Popped high and playable. And Hoyt will take that one himself. 2 away. And your batter now is Justin Nam. He will be pitching during the Spartans side of the innings. Rain now just beginning to spit a little bit here at Mountain View High. And that one dropped in there. I don't think Nam was expecting that one, but it did sink into the strike zone. 0-1. That one was high. Conrad Hakel kind of had to jump for that one, so that evens the count at 1-1. Here's the pitch. That one also twisting in there for a strike. That's 1-2. Hoyt now ahead in the count. Nam is a right-handed batter. Low and away. 2-2 now to Nam. Menlo comes from the Peninsula Bay League in the Central Coast section. And there's a drive. Center field. And I don't think he could quite get to that one. That was Cox out in center field, and I think he just beyond his reach. Let's see that again. Drive out, both left and right fielder going for it, and just out of the reach of the center fielder Cox. That will bring Nam aboard. And your batter is Sam Wesselow. Wesselow is a shortstop by trade, also a right-handed batter. That one's high, ball 1. So this will be the first time today that Hoyt is operating out of the stretch. Let's see how he deals with this base running team of the Menlo Knights. That one is out of play. Brings it to 1-1. The coach of the Mountain View Spartans is Chris Mims. His assistants, Matt Nipez and Joey Ordonez. And a throw to first. Jared Norris, the Spartan first baseman, tossing that back to Hoyt, saying a little bit faster this time. But that may have taught Nam not to lead off too far. Well, maybe he hasn't learned his lesson yet. That one's in the dirt. Hakel able to get on top of it. But that'll bring it to a 2-1 count. Here's the windup. Big cut on that one, but that's out of play. That'll even the count at 2-2. We were talking earlier about the divisions. Mountain View's in the Deanza League of the Central Coast section. So these teams are not in the same league, but they do know each other very well. There's a chopper, and that's foul behind the third base line. Count remains 2-2. Well, so far we've been lucky with the rain. We haven't had too much precipitation here, but my producer has provided me with an umbrella just in case. And I think a lot of the people who turned up to this thing are prepared to deal with it if there are some sudden squalls to send people running for cover. Hoyt throws. Swing and a miss. And that will retire the side. No runs, one hit, no errors, and one man left. We're headed to the bottom of the first. There's no score.
We're a mobile massage company, and we bring massage therapy
Trim that
yoga
exit.
to the corporate workplace.
We started this business in order to bring more awareness to corporations for health and wellness.
This is a nice perk that they can offer their employees, and it says, hey, we care about your well-being. We look forward to bringing massage therapy and yoga into your corporate workplace.
We go to the bottom of the first. No score yet between these two teams. On the mound for the Menlo Knights is Justin Nam. He appeared early in the batting order, so we'll see how he does against this Mountain View squad. Nam wearing number 11. Other players on Menlo, I'll catch you up with them on their defense. J.C. Ng is in left field. Ian Collins is the catcher. We talked about Justin Nam already. Sam Wesselow is a shortstop. Out in center field is Kevin Alarcon. Julian Hernandez is your first baseman. Second baseman is Landon Smith. Batting eighth and in right field is Bennett Norman. And batting ninth and playing third base is Luca Espinoza. I'll give you the Mountain View defense at the top of the second. Leading off for the Spartans, Tristan Silveira. As I mentioned earlier, Tristan is leading the Mountain View Spartans in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage, and he leads the national average in all three categories. So he's going to be a powerful weapon starting off for the Spartans. That one's low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Spartan bench is loving it. You can hear them in the background. Here's the pitch. And that one is in the dirt and past him. And Nam perhaps feeling a little bit of pressure from the hometown crowd. Is behind in the count 2-0. Here's the delivery. And that one's in there for a strike. Justin's got to feel a little bit better about that. The two head coaches, that one's chopped foul behind the third baseline. The two coaches for Menlo Atherton are Tink Reynoso and Greg Hart. Their head athletic trainer is John Cohen. We'll be hearing more from them. And there's a fly to left field, but handled fairly easily by Alarcon, the center field, and there's one away. So Nam getting out of trouble there against maybe the most powerful batter that the Spartans have. There's the delivery, and that one's headed out, and not too much trouble there for Menlo, picking that one up. Your batter right now is Sam Gill. Sam's a 5'8" senior. He's a second baseman and a shortstop, so very much an infield guy. And he's ahead in the count. There's a drive to his shortstop, and I believe that was overthrown. So the Spartans have a man aboard here in the bottom of the first.
Let's go on.
And Aaron Cox is your batter. Cox, a junior center fielder for this game, 5'10". Right-handed batter, and now they're trying to pick off Gill there. Gill taking a big lead off, and now throw back again. Gill back safely.
What do you think, Anand? How hard do you think he's throwing?
That one's low and away.
Jared, which one is that?
Another lead out. 1 ball, no strike. That one's also low and outside. So Cox is ahead in the count now, 2-0. Nam operating out of the stretch almost immediately here in this one. And there's a ground ball to second. Could be 2. And they got him. And just like that, the Spartans are retired. No runs, no hits, 1 left. Waiting on the scoring table to see if that was an error. At the end of 1 full, it's 0-0. KMVT Sports would like to thank our sponsor, Altos Mobile Massage. Massage can change your mental and physical state and inspire you to give power and energy to solutions. Altos Mobile Massage brings the massage to you. Sometimes a little pressure is a good thing. Well, we're back in the top of the second inning here at Mountain View High. No score. Both teams have had a man on first. There's only been 1 hit in the contest so far. Mountain View did get a man on base, but that was due to an E6, so that would be an error on the shortstop. So far it's been a reasonably even game. So top of the second, as I said. And the batter is Kevin Alarcon. And Alarcon watches one fall low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Hoyt continuing to pitch. Swing and a miss.
I don't think that's right. I think it should be 1-1. Isn't it 1-1?
Should have a count of 1-1. We'll get the scoreboard going on that. Here's the pitch. And that one's way up high. And caught by the first baseman. That's Jared Norris. 1 away.
Good job, boy.
Your batter now is Julian Hernandez. He's the first baseman. And Julian Hernandez watches one get in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. The rain is still being very tentative here this afternoon. We've had a few drops so far, but nothing really worth writing home about. That one's in the dirt. That evens the count at 1-1. Here's the pitch. That one also skied up, and that may be playable. And that one's out of play. That'll bring the count to 1-2. And here we go. Here's the delivery. And that one is high and just a little bit wide. That evens the count at 2-2. That one's headed straight up and straight down. Out of play. Count remains at 2-2. We have one out in the top of the second. No score between these two teams. He delivers. And that one's low. And Heckel was able to stop that, but he couldn't find it for a second. Fortunately for him, no runners on base. Full count now, 3-2. First full count we've had in this game. Taking a deep breath now, and he delivers. There's a ground ball in the hole, and long throw there, and he managed to get away with it. Great pickup there by Norris. And there are two away. Let's see that one shall we? There's a hard grounder. Shortstop was able to take it. It was a long throw, and it did bounce, but he got it to first base. And your batter is Landon Smith, and he's bunting it down. Nicely done, and it gets past Norris. But Smith is not going to take advantage of it, so he's aboard. So Menlo was able to come away with that one. Your batter is Bennett Norman. He's the right fielder when the Knights will be playing defense. And that one is well high from Hoyt. So twice in 2 innings, you have a team getting a man aboard because of a faulty throw to the first baseman. And here comes the pitch. That one, he doesn't like. Hoyt is probably not going to like that one, but that one is just outside. That puts him down 2-0 in the count. Hoyt taking a deep breath, and he delivers. And that one is a high pitch, and it's a more or less an infield fly and taken with not too much trouble by Gill, your second baseman, and the side is retired.
James, nice pitching, bud. No
No runs, no hits, 1 error and 1 left. We're headed to the bottom of the second, still no score. We're back here at Mountain View High School for the bottom of the second, as Mountain View High School is up to bat once again.
Out of play.
That's Gabe Barrett.
Anand Subramanian.
I beg your pardon, that is Anand Subramanian. And that will get him behind in the count, 0-2 right away. Here's the delivery. And chopped foul. Almost batted that off his own foot there.
Keep on up there, 1-9.
Later on in this game, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a treat. We're going to get some color commentary from an expert in the game, much more knowledgeable than myself, but we'll introduce him in a little bit. Now, there's a ground ball to second, fielded very easily. Again, one hop, and they managed to put him away. One down here in the bottom of the second. Jared Norris, your batter. Jared is a first baseman, a third baseman, and he's also been known to pitch from time to time. He's a 6'0" junior. And that one goes in and out.
You're going to get a nice flat fastball to hit. Pick your spot. Keep your head down.
Say in and out of the hands of Collins, the catcher, but he manages to grab a hold of it. Here's the delivery. That one is fly ball to right, and running it a little bit to take care of that was Norman, the right fielder, but not too much of a trouble, and there are two away. Kai Cox, your batter, left-handed batter. Kai is a pitcher and an outfielder. He's just a sophomore and stands 5'10". And there's a chopper to the infield, back to the pitcher. He almost takes care of that himself, but he tosses over to his first baseman, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We're headed to the third inning. And no score. Coming to the top of the third now. Still no score between the Spartans and the Knights. I'm joined now by a gentleman who is no stranger to local baseball. He's played and coached in this league, and he knows many of the young men that are going to be playing here today. And I'm referring, of course, to the coach, Brian Lilly. Welcome, Brian, and greetings.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you having me on board. It's always wonderful to be out at the ball field.
Yes, it sure is. Even on a day like today, when it's probably not the kind of day you want to go on a picnic for.
Yeah, it's not the natural baseball weather, but it's still great to be here.
Especially with guys that are as talented as they are. That one was low, not quite in the dirt, but that'll bring the count to 1-2. James Hoyt still pitching for the Spartans. And he's facing Luca Espinoza, who's the third baseman for this Knights club. Brian, do you know either one of the men that I just described? Do you know either James Hoyt or Luca Espinoza?
Yeah, I've watched James Hoyt pitch for quite some time. He's got a talented arm, live arm. I think he's hitting low 80s, and he really has a nice repertoire pitch, and you just saw one right there.
Yeah, he struck that. I think that is the first strikeout we've had in this game, maybe the second. So playing that, and what they were doing, I think that was a classic around the horn, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Well, he's got to feel good about that. So one away, and your batter is J.C. Ng. We're back at the top of the order for the Knights.
And this young kid can hit. He's a freshman, and he that first inning, he really ripped to center field.
Well, this one I think is to right. I'm not sure if it's in play.
Yep, foul ball.
Foul ball. But that's going to put James Hoyt a little bit more in his place because you got a freshman hitter against a sophomore pitcher.
Yeah.
So we're talking about fairly young kids here.
It is, and JC in that first inning, he got behind in the count, and he has like a Joe Panic flat swing, and I think James elevated that pitch, and he hit it pretty good to center field, but Aaron Cox made a nice play on it.
And James has been able to keep most of his pitches under control, whether it be to JC or somebody else. Now there's a drive to right, coming in to catch, and no, that's the center fielder that got that one. That's
Aaron Cox.
That is Aaron Cox. That's right.
And little known fact, Aaron is in center, and his brother Kai Cox is in right.
Yeah, actually, And Aaron is the older of the two.
Aaron is the older, yeah.
All right.
Kai, you can always, you know, he's nicknamed Sunshine because he's got that long blonde hair. So you always know Kai Cox.
Well, there you go. Ian Collins is batting now for the Knights with 2 away. Collins is a catcher, wearing lucky 13.
It's a big, strong kid. I think he's your, you know, big. You see him behind the plate. He looks like a natural catcher, but he's big kid.
Yeah, you don't usually see catchers of that height, and he lines that one into right field for a base hit. So they're aboard, and I think, Brian, that may be the first time we have a base runner for Menlo that didn't get there because of an error.
No, I remember Justin Nahm made that one hit in the first inning. This kid.
Oh yes, you're right.
But it was a diving play.
It was a fly ball.
That's right. Now, interesting thing about Justin, he grew up in the league. He's played with a lot of the kids on Mountain View High here.
Is that okay? Yeah. So he knows the squad pretty well.
Oh, he knows the squad very well.
And I think it might have been Nahm that was the one that hit that.
Yeah.
One that the center fielder
dove
that
for
Mr. Cox dove for and was just out of reach.
Yes, exactly.
You know, nothing really came of it.
And when you know, if you notice when he went around first, he was high-fiving the first baseman. They're buds.
Okay.
They even played together.
That's helpful. Oh, that one got away.
Pickoff move got away.
Pickoff move got away, and so that's an extra 90 feet for Menlo. And Jared Norris is not going to forget that one easily. Well, we'll get the clip a little later on, but he did make it safe. We don't know that we were worried about that. We'll get it. So now
the 3 hitters up with a guy in scoring position.
First time we've had a runner in scoring position.
That's right.
Today.
It's a big 90 feet.
And that one is high and away, ball 1.
Justin's a very patient hitter. I've seen him. He was on my son's team as a 9-year-old. I've seen him growing up through this league. He's a very solid baseball player.
And that'll be low and away, ball 2. He looks very relaxed in the batter's box.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he feels like he has anything to prove.
No, he's a wonderful kid. Great family. Sister graduated from here, from Mountain View High, and just really, really nice family and a nice young man. Shook my hand as he walked in, and a very relaxed baseball player.
Fantastic. And that one was in there for a strike, so that'll bring the count to 3-1. And
I think he was taken all the way there. What do you think?
At a 3-0 pitch, I would never swing at a 3-0 pitch.
I think he was taking it.
Not with a man in scoring position, anyway. And that one will bring the count to a full 1, and that is about as full a count as you can get under these circumstances.
Well, and that tells you how confident Hoyt is in his curveball. To throw it 3-1, you know, most hitters are sitting fastball 3-1, and so for him to bring in a hook, that's confidence.
And it says a lot about Hoyt and the coaching that he's gotten.
That's right.
And that one spanked and just past the reach of Subramanian. Coming in to score is Collins. And just that quickly, Menlo has a 1-0 lead. Yeah, let's see that again. So predictably that he would hit it there, and a great effort by Subramanian to get his hand on that one.
And the mistake, you know, the mistake that's made, that's a great hit. So Justin's 2 for 2. But the mistake is to not hit your cutoff man and to now allow the guy to go to second. So now Justin's at second, so he swapped places. Now he's in scoring position for the next batter. That's, you know, always hit your cutoff man. A runner is going to score from second on a hit. Keep the guy to 90 feet, and that's a mental error. Probably explains why Chris Mims went out and had a little bit of a confab with his infield, yeah? Yeah, I think he's probably saying, come on, guys, you know, hits happen, but free 90, don't do it. Nope. But mistakes are part of every game, aren't they, Coach? Yes, they are, especially high schoolers. High school baseball, yep, name of the game almost.
And that one's just a little bit low. He kind of hung that one up a little bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, did he 3-2? He had to come in. Now he did have an open bag, so he could have nibbled a little more, but I think Justin was waiting for that pitch.
Here it comes. And he's taken on that one, and he took it. That'll even the count there. I've always thought that trying to defend against a second base runner for a pitcher's got to be the most difficult one in terms of a stealing risk.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's ways that you can defend against it. You can have your catcher. You can do timing. We did this a lot where catcher can drop his hand and all of a sudden the second baseman's in and they have to be in sync with the pitcher. There's a number of ways you can do it, but it is tough because they're behind you.
And that's a long 90 degrees that you're going to have to turn your head.
Oh, that's a good
swing, and that is just off the glove of the catcher. That'll bring the count to 1-2, though. And James has got to be feeling just a little bit better about that now.
Yeah, you got 2 outs now. It's a lot better pitching 1-2 than 3-1.
And here's the delivery. Swing and a miss. So the Knights are gone, but they do get a run on single followed by a wild pickoff delivery and then the double to bring in the runner. We're headed to the bottom of the third with the score Menlo 1, Mountain View 0. Mike Messner and Brian Lilly giving you all the action in the bottom of the third here at Mountain View High School, where the Knights have just opened up a 1-0 lead. Statistically, that's no surprise, Brian, because the Knights have outscored the Spartans on paper every inning. If you look at the 7 innings stretches that they've played all through this year. So what do you do now if you're Chris Mims? What do you tell the Spartans?
Well, you got James Hoyt at the plate here, so he's one of the things I would tell him is help yourself, because you need to help yourself out. So try and get on base. We need base runners, and then I don't know if this is Mountain View style, but I would say we got to move runners around. So we maybe a little small ball, and because this could be a low scoring affair, just like the other night, Friday they had against St. Francis. They lost 2-1 in extra innings. So 1 or 2 runs makes a difference.
We just haven't had a chance to see very much so far because the Mountain View bats have been fairly quiet.
Yes, they have.
So far in this contest.
Nam's throwing well. He's throwing hard. His fastball's hard. He's keeping it down. And then his hook, it's a hard hook.
There's a chopper. And that's headed over to the first baseman, Hernandez, 1 away. James checked his swing there.
He did.
During that last at-bat, and I don't think he did. I think he did go around, or at least the umpire thought he did.
Yeah, he did. I think he was fooled. He was sitting fastball on a nice little curve, and I think he just wasn't expecting it.
And your batter now is Conrad Heckel, and he's a junior, and he's been doing the catching for the Spartans so far today. And he looks at a strike from Justin Nam. On deck will be Aiden Patterson. And here's a chopper to the shortstop. And once again, he'll throw it over. No problem with that delivery. And almost 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Yeah, very quickly you're 2 down. Aiden Patterson, this kid coming up, I've coached him before in a couple of different scenarios. A very good pitcher. He's a submariner. Very interesting to watch him on the mound. Let's see, and he's been swinging a good bat, so let's see if what he can do here.
Do you know where he's going to be next fall, Coach?
I don't. I know he wants to play somewhere, and I don't know exactly where that'd be, but
because he is a senior this year.
Yeah, he is. Fine young man.
And he just looked at a strike, so he's behind in the count, 0-1. Here's the delivery from Nam. And that's chopped foul behind the third base line.
Now let's see. So 0-2. Now what would be interesting is does he think he can throw the fastball by him, or does he throw him a curve in the dirt? My bet is a curve in the dirt or a curve away.
That's what I would do. I think he can probably afford to gamble a little bit.
Nope.
Yep. Straight up and a little high.
Yep. Maybe get him to chase eyeball. Now let's see if it's a curve.
Well, if he's got a good curve, and you would know more about it than I would, then I would go to it at this point.
There it is.
And there it went.
Yep.
And that just evened the count.
That's right, but low and in the dirt. So now 2-2, he can really choose what to throw.
And Aiden was not buying.
Nope. Sit down.
Ooh. And that will retire the side. 3 up and 3 down for the Spartans, which can't feel good in their dugout, but they're going to go back to work now. We've paid 3 full, Menlo 1, Mountain View 0. Well, I'm going to keep mine on. Okay. All right.
We're a mobile massage company, and we bring massage therapy and yoga to the corporate workplace.
We started this business in order to bring more awareness to corporations for health and wellness.
This is a nice perk that they can offer their employees, and it says, hey, we care about your well-being. We look forward to bringing massage therapy and yoga into your corporate workplace.
Sure, yeah. I know, he wouldn't want to. We come to the top of the 4th here at Mountain View High School. Menlo still holding on to a 1-0 lead. And James Hoyt continuing to pitch. As you said, Brian, it has been a fairly low, it is a low-scoring affair, just like the last game at St. Francis was. How does that dictate the pitching strategy that Hoyt and the people who will follow him are going to utilize?
Well, they get a little, you know, the one thing you do as a coach is to try and keep them really calm, because, you know, they think like, oh, I can't even allow a base runner, and they can get tight. So you just say, look, you're throwing great, you know, throw strikes, pound the zone, and your defense is playing good defense behind you. So just, you know, pitch to the zone. Don't try and do much. Don't try and do too much. And other than that, I think you're really trying to continue to play baseball, you know, fundamental baseball, good defense, good pitching. Hopefully the hits will come, but their bats have been quiet this year so far.
Well, he's got an 0-2 count to work on right now. Here's the delivery. And that one's headed upstairs, but headed downstairs too.
Second baseman,
right.
Sam.
That was Sam Gill, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Okay. And there's one away. See that one? That was a bit of a run that he had to make. And easy put out there.
Yeah, he's a stocky kid, senior, but a football player. He's got speed.
And Julian Hernandez is your batter now. And he looks at one that skimmed into the dirt there. I don't know what James's pitch count is right now, but he seems to be holding strong so far.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job. Both pitchers are. This is so far it's actually been a pitcher's duel, and Nam, the pitcher on the other team, has helped himself with a base hit. He's the one that he's the one that put himself into the lead. And
if you looked at the way the defenses have played, there's another one to right, and that one's going to be taken by the right fielder.
Yeah, that's Kai Cox.
Kai Cox it is, and there are 2 away. But if you look at the way that both the defenses have reacted on this one, Coach, it's not bad, except for the overthrows and pickoffs.
That's right. That's right. That's really been the only issue. The one, I would say, it didn't end up hurting him, but the overthrow left not hitting his cutoff man from Mountain View didn't cost him because he got the next guy. But that's, you know, ooh.
And that one.
Wow.
Apparently everybody's okay.
Yeah, well, this hitter, the first at bat, actually did a bunt for a base hit, and he was trying to do it again. And I don't know if the catcher saw it, because it flew back and hit the umpire square in the chest.
Oh, did it hit the umpire? I wasn't sure if it hit the catcher or the umpire.
No, the catcher completely missed it, and it hit the umpire.
any ball that is shoulder high, I don't know if I'd go for a bunt on that. In any case, I would let that one just go by.
And I think that's what obscured the catcher. That was, you don't see that very often.
Yeah, that's not something that I think Landon Smith is your batter right now. I don't know if, I think he's being a little too anxious.
Well, Landon is extremely quick. Like on that bunt he did for a base hit the first time, he flew down the line.
And he laid down a pretty good bunt, too. And here he goes again.
There he goes again.
And that one just flew over our scoring table.
Yes, it did. It's hard
and
to bunt
maybe Landon's trying to tell us to shut up, Coach.
He might be.
Oh, goodness.
But you know what? We have, as coaches, we love speed. You know, we say speed kills, because if he can get on first, then he could potentially steal his way around to third.
Well, if he's got the speed, then there's no shame in trying to bunt with the bases empty.
He's squaring around early, though, for bunting for a base hit.
He's got a 2-1 count right now. And there he goes. And
see, base hit.
Able to get away with that one. But it did not help matters for Mountain View that James slipped up a little bit.
Yeah,
if he'd been able to keep his footing, he might have been able to spear that one.
Well, what's interesting about when hitters bunt, if he was showing early, which is unusual, because a lot of times when you're doing a drag bunt or you're trying to bunt for a base hit, you really square around late, and then you drop it down the third baseline. But he did what's called a push bunt. The push bunt is by the pitcher, in between the pitcher and the first baseman, because if the second baseman's playing deep like he was, that push bunt is actually a really good way to get on base.
Is that more dangerous, though? Because if you're bunting it in a location that's going to be an easier put out, it would seem to me that you'd want to bunt it down the third baseline if you could.
I prefer that, but the push bunt is if you perfect it, it's actually can be more effective, because the right-handed pitcher's falling off the mound, so all of his momentum's really going towards the third baseline, and so he has to gather himself and get there. The first baseman is actually pretty deep and over towards the line, so if you push it hard enough, it's a really we've scored many a run there with push bunt. So it's a good baseball play, and that kid's quick. So.
Well, I think you probably have to have just the right chemistry to do that. Everything would have to work well to do it, which is probably.
He probably practices it a lot.
Oh, no doubt.
He's now 2 for 2 with 2 bunts.
How often do you see that?
Not very, and especially the way he showed it so early.
Yeah, I don't know if the college coaches would take kindly to that, but
I think they care more about his speed, saying that kid's fast.
Probably, if not technique on that one. Well, your batter now is Bennett Norman. Have you coached Bennett? You know anything about him?
No, I don't.
Yeah, he watches that one, but I think he's eager to hit.
What year is Bennett?
Don't know. We don't have any statistics on.
He looks young.
Yep. Sometimes schools don't always put their statistics up on Max Preps the way we would like them to.
See, there he goes.
And he's going to go row-foing for it. And yet another pickoff attempt that did not come through, although at least this one was controllable.
Yeah, see, that's why speed kills. You know, so he gets on base with a bunt, and now the second pitch in, he steals. Now he's in scoring position. Now a base hit, and all of a sudden it's 2-0 Menlo. That's just good baseball. It's good baseball.
Get dirty, watch the baseball, let's go. Come on.
Hoyt delivers, trying to get out of this inning without getting hurt. And just a little bit low on that one. And Hoyt was begging for the strike zone and didn't quite get it. 2-1 the count with 2 out. Here in the top of the 4th. In the dirt. Heckle scrambled a little bit, but he got a hold of that one. Keeps the runner on second.
Yeah, that was a nice block, because that was a curve in the dirt, and those are really, really hard to block. You got to drop to your knees, sort of use your chest as a wall.
Would that have been scored as a wild pitch?
Yeah.
Had it gotten by him?
I think so.
I think so too.
It bounced pretty far, pretty far up. Those are really tough to block. That was good technique by Conrad. this is an important runner at second. They really do need to keep this game close.
And floated right in there, which is exactly what James needed at this particular point in the at-bat. Evening the count.
Hey, block everything, block everything.
Keeping Bennett Norman on his toes.
Yeah, he's mixing up his pitches nicely. It's 2-2. It's an important pitch.
And that one's down the first base line. And the first baseman takes it himself and retires the side. So Hoyt gets out of that without having to give up another run, and he's probably very thankful to whatever deity he believes in right now. So we're headed to the bottom of the fourth. It's still 1-0. We go to the bottom of the fourth here at Mountain View High School. Menlo still holding on to a 1-0 lead, although they came close to getting a second one home.
Top of the order with Tristan Silviera.
That's right. And Tristan, as I said earlier, Coach, is leading the team in batting average. And here's one that'll help his average. Or it would have. It had been just a little bit longer. But that one was picked up by J.C. Ng. And it's one away.
Yeah, he probably hit that about 330 feet. He got, you know, the wall out there is 350, and he just got under it. Just got under it.
As I was saying, that he's got a 500 batting average, and he leads the team for batting average, on base, and slugging. Yeah. That one probably won't help his average, but good effort. That one's very high.
See, Nam's throwing hard. He really is throwing hard, and his curveball is. He doesn't take much pace off it. It's a hard breaking curveball. There it is.
And that one dropped in, and that was a textbook curveball right there. 1-1 the count. And on deck would be Aaron Cox.
Yeah, Aaron.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, Aaron is one of the Cox brothers that are out there in the outfield.
Sometimes it's hard to tell A-R-A-N.
Yeah, I know. It's a very unusual spelling. I think his family, Australia or British. I think really, really nice family, local family. Been, watched him grow up from little. I love watching these young men, children grow into young men in this community.
This is Sam Gill, your batter. And Gill, feeling the pressure a little bit with an even count, backs off. Sam Gill's a senior this year, Coach.
Yes, he is.
Swung at a very high pitch, and I believe that one
probably would have been ball 3, I think.
No doubt. So an understandable swing.
Yep.
If not necessarily one that you and I would have swung at. And that one's ripped down towards third base, thrown over to first, and snagged by the first baseman, and there are 2 away.
See, except for that overthrow from the shortstop Menlo in the first inning, they've played a really solid defensive game. Justin's pitching to contact. He's not overpowering anybody, striking anybody out, but his team's playing great defense behind him, and very quickly there's 2 outs.
And if you look at Alarcon, Ng, and Norman, they haven't had much to do out in the outfield all day.
No, it's all been pitching to contact. That means that he's keeping the ball down, and they're hitting the ball into the dirt.
That's right. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Whoa.
I think that one slipped. Maybe a little wet. I don't know.
Collins as well. That would explain things, or maybe from perspiration too.
Yeah.
But anyway, then he almost had to jump for that one. 2-0. And they're right there into the outfield, just as we predicted.
I think it's
base hit up the middle.
And that's the first hit for Mountain View today, isn't it?
It may be.
I think so.
It may be.
The first hit.
I think it may be only a second time they've had somebody aboard.
That's right. I think because the other base runner was an error. So yeah. So they broke up the no-hitter.
I hadn't thought of it that way before, Coach, but I guess that's true. All right, Anand Subramanian.
Now Anand has been a good hitter ever since young boy. He's always been a good hitter. And he's very calm up there, very calm hitter.
His family has really made an impact. In addition to him, his sister Ananya is very big in Future Business Leaders of America.
That's right.
At Mountain View High School, and I was fortunate enough to accompany her to Anaheim last year for nationals, and then to Chicago the year before that.
Oh wow! So. I'm not surprised that his dad Subu and mother Minnie, they're just a fantastic family, always contributing. And
oh, runner goes, and he is in there, safe. So out of the stretch, as Nam is going to have to. Let's take a look at that again, Coach.
So watch this. He slides to the outside of the bag to get away from. That's a really good slide. If he'd have slid right into the base, he's out.
Mm-hmm. Although he might have spiked the second baseman.
If he did, yeah. But that was a really good slide. And Aaron is very, very quick. So now he's in scoring position. This is a big at bat.
Of course, the disadvantage of sliding away from that is that you take the chance you're going to run out of the baseline, isn't that?
Well, it's a pretty significant. It's well over 3 feet, and and as long as your arm can reach the bag, then you're not considered out of the base path. So and you saw that he had there's a pickoff move. You saw that he could reach back and grab the bag, so he was within the base path as defined by baseball.
Okay. So we got a 3-0 count. Nam has not given up any walks either so far this game, but he may be looking at the first one. Well, not yet. 3-1 count. And
taken all the way.
And Anand did exactly the right thing in taking that.
Yep. Yeah. But now he's probably sitting fastball. Let's see what he does. And Justin knows him. These guys have played against each other in Little League. Oh, ball forward.
And there's your first walk.
That's right. There you go. So now you got 2 guys aboard. Jared is I think he's a sophomore. He's a youngster. And this kid can play. The guy, he pitched against St. Francis on Friday. Pitched to Gem, the one that they lost in extra innings. Made a mistake and a guy hit it over the fence, and that was the game. They lost 2-1. But Jared's a good hitter, too. He's hitting the ball hard. So while Greg Hart and Tink Reynoso have a chat with their team, KMVT Sports is brought to you from help from our sponsor, Altos Mobile Massage. Massage has been proven to reduce stress and improve well-being. Healthier and happier employees do better work. Altos Mobile Massage brings the massage to you. Sometimes a little pressure is a good thing. And Justin Nam is probably feeling a little pressure right now. Maybe we need to get him a massage in between innings. Just wondering if Los Altos Massage could come on out here and that's right. Some of these guys are feeling it.
Well, we'll have to talk to our producer to see if he can cut a deal with that. And your batter is Jared Norris. With a chance to break this one open.
Well, base hit should tie the game, and this is where you've got to slow your heart rate in the batter's box and just try and see the ball. Put a good swing on the ball.
And drive to center, and that's going to fall. Coming in to score is Aaron Cox, and we have a tie game.
Yeah, and you see Jared is trying to stretch that into a double. Probably not a good decision, especially because it's hit to right center, so it's a little closer throw. But this is exactly what I mean by hitting your cutoff man. Menlo hit their cutoff man. They cut it off. They saw that Anand was going to be there already at third, and now once the cutoff man gets the ball, he can choose, and he had him dead to rights at second. So that's why fundamental baseball, you hit your cutoff man. Super important.
Yep. But for all that, they did get done what they needed to get done.
They sure did. That's a clutch hit.
And we headed to the 5th inning. We got a tie ball game, 1-1.
And you got a new pitcher coming in here for Mountain View.
Well, we got a new inning and we got a new pitcher for the Mountain View Spartans, and it's junior John Andrade. He's a 5'10" pitcher and a utility player. His third year in high school. And Coach, how well do you know John?
You know, I don't know him that well. It's funny when you have kids here. I have a senior and a freshman. So I don't really know much about him on the mound. I know he's a solid baseball player. I know he's a travel ball player, but I haven't seen him pitch. So I'm looking forward to this.
Should be good. And your batter is Luca Espinoza, the third baseman. Luca, a left-handed batter. And he looks at a strike.
Good looking first pitch. It always feels good to get that first one in for a strike.
I think it's really critical for a relief pitcher to get that one in. And now he made Espinoza swing at that one.
And you know, that was a nice changeup. You could see the difference in pace.
Yes.
And I think he fooled Espinoza on that.
I don't know if these two have ever faced each other, so that's another element in all this. That one's just a little low.
Looks like a new catcher back there too.
I think you're right.
I think he's a transfer. Peyton Kesselring is a transfer, I believe, from Michigan. If I don't, and he's a good, solid baseball player. I've been impressed with him. I think this is his first year that I've seen him at Mountain View.
He is a junior, or his grade level is a junior, and he catches, and he's played outfield also. And again, tall for a catcher, 6'1".
Yeah, and I saw him against St. Francis. I think he was hitting in the third spot, so I think he's got a bat too. So that's a substitution that happened, maybe along with Andrade.
Double switch, as we say.
Yes, sir.
All right. 2-2 the count. And that will send him packing around the horn. And we haven't had too many strikeouts in this game, but he leads off. Not only does he get his first pitch as a strike, he gets his first batter as a strikeout.
That's right. And well, now though he's JC Ing leadoff hitter. You know, as I've said, he's got that flat Joe Panic swing. So let's see how he does against the top of the order.
Another left-handed batter. And that one's a little bit low. And again, I don't know if these two have ever faced each other.
I don't think they have. Well, they might, you know. You never know. The thing is about these kids is that they've played in, you know, in not only in their local Little League, you know, pony baseball kind of leagues, but also travel ball. And so some of these guys might have even been teammates.
And that one straight and true. In for a strike. 1-1 the count.
I tell you, I'm impressed with Andrade so far. He's pounding the zone. He's throwing strikes.
He's not showing any fear, and that may be because he truly does not know what he's up against, and that may give him a level of confidence that you might not have if you let those statistics get inside your head.
That's not a bad thought. You know, these guys have played each other and they know some of the tendencies, but they also know, oh dang, this guy can hit. So not knowing may be as good as knowing. See, look at that. Very flat swing, right back up the middle. See, I love it when hitters do that, when they don't try and do too much. His hands are back. He's waiting. We say let the ball travel, which means don't try and hit it out in front of the plate. Let it come to the plate. His hands are here. And then you throw your hands through the ball, and that's exactly what he did. Right back up the middle. It's just a good piece of hitting. I'm impressed with that kid.
Fundamental hitting, and now we see Andrade out of the stretch for the first time.
That's right.
So a lot of new ground being broken for this young man today. Your hitter is Ian Collins. And he looks at a low one.
I believe this guy, you know, typically they put speed in that leadoff position. So, you know, it'd be interesting to see if they steal Ing.
They do that in all levels of ball, don't they, Coach?
Yeah, they do. They do, you know, and if you have speed and a little bit of pop, good bat. I think that's why he's hitting. pickoff move, not a bad pickoff move.
Actually, a very good one because it was caught by the first baseman.
Yeah.
What do they say to beginning pilots? Any landing you can walk away from is a good
It's
one.
a good
right?
landing.
Well, any pickoff attempt that you catch is probably a good one. And that one again a little low and in the dirt.
I haven't seen Kesselring's arm behind the plate, so let's see if he does go. Let's see his arm.
Checking on the runner. Here's the pitch. Ooh. And that one, strike. And what was that we were just saying about pickoff attempts, Coach?
Yeah. So this was interesting. The ball was really thrown in the dirt. Kesselring did a nice job blocking it. He probably shouldn't have thrown the ball. You know, he wasn't going to throw him out. It went through the shortstop, second baseman, had to be picked up by the center fielder. Nice backup, but probably shouldn't have thrown the ball.
Still, though, I mean, that did show some. You were saying you hadn't seen his arm before from behind the plate. That he's got some arm strength.
He does. That was, yeah, he got it down there in a hurry.
And a free 90 feet. So now first and second.
So he had an open base, so it's not too bad that he walked in. But the problem is look who's coming up. You got the 3-hitter, Justin Nam, who's 2 for 2, knocked in the first run of the game. Clearly is seeing the ball well, has a nice swing, and now he's got a guy again in scoring position.
And only one out.
So you got your 3-4 hitters coming.
And Chris Mims says, hang on, guys. We better have a meeting.
Let's have a little talk. You know, sometimes it's funny. You go out there and there's been games where, you know, 13, 14-year-olds are out at Twin Creeks, and you go out there and you have a little conversation. And I go out there and because I see that they're tight and they come in and they're waiting for a speech, I go, hey, guys, I'm not going to say anything. We're going to pretend like we're talking, but we're not going to say anything. And then they bust up and laugh, and then they go back to their positions, and it's like the tension is gone. It's just like, guys, just play baseball.
It's a great tactical move.
Yeah.
And it probably lowers the tension right there. It's a kind of a Joe Montana move, if you will.
Yeah, isn't that John Candy?
Yes, isn't that John? That's exactly right.
Yeah, see, if he elevates his pitch against Nam, I think he might be able to do some damage with it.
See, the thing is that I've seen him throw a whole bunch of pitches in the dirt to the last few batters, and I'm wondering, is he kind of feeling the pressure, or does he need to back up on his windup a little bit? Or?
Yeah, you know, that's interesting. Normally when you're feeling pressure intense, you overthrow. But you're right, he is. I think he's just really trying to keep the ball down because he's seen what these hitters can do. But the concern I would have is if he throws it in the dirt and these two guys get a pass ball and get to second and third, now Nam has 2 guys in scoring position.
Or if he walks this guy, then he's got a bases loaded.
That's right.
Overthrown, and he's going to try for it, and he's going to come in safely. Menlo regains the lead. That's J.C. Ng bringing it home for the Knights.
And so then on the throw home, catcher picked it up.
Let's see that again.
Yeah, so look, it's a pass ball, so Ng is going. He's safe. The ball goes into left field, so he sends him. But on the throw home, you have the other Menlo runners is trying to get to third, and he gets thrown out at third.
JC gave a very tentative slide there. I mean, if that had not been an overthrown pitch, he might have gotten hurt on that one.
Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to do a pop-up slide where you slide in and then try and pop up.
I wouldn't even, it was just so tentative that I think he was lucky not to have more trouble in that than he did.
Yeah, and so now Nam walks. There's nobody on because, you know, JC scored and the other young man's thrown out at third. Andrade's done, so he's leaving. They're putting in, I think this is Will Fimbras. He's another local product, all the way up through Little League and Pony Baseball. pitched for forever. I've seen him pitch since he was just, you know, probably 4 feet tall, and now he's on the mound in a big position.
And he's in his 3rd year of school.
Yep, and facing the 4-hitter. So it's a big role for Will.
How many practice pitches do you get in high school, Coach?
I think you get 8. I believe it's 8. It's either 8. It's 5 to 8. Let's see how many he does.
Fimbres has a great windup. I mean, I don't really comment on pitching technique too much because I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just love this kid's windup.
Yeah, he's just, you can tell kids that have really had, that have good mechanics. You know, when you think about guys like Timmy Lincecum, you know, now back in the majors with the Rangers, he's not a big kid, but he can throw, you know, he's throwing mid to high 90s in his prime. It's all mechanics, and I'm seeing good mechanics from Will right here.
And it's an interesting comparison. I mean, I don't know what Lincecum's dimensions are, but Will Fimbres is 5'8", 145, so he's not a large specimen.
Not at all.
By any means.
I think Timmy's probably 5'9", 165, so, you know, bigger, but not much bigger. And now, I don't know if you noticed that when he was warming up, he pushes his glove hand like this. That means it's a changeup. So he's telling the catcher, I'm going to throw a changeup. If he throws his glove over, you know, sort of rolls it over, that means it's a curve. Otherwise, the catcher can expect it's a fastball.
Gotcha. Of course, by the time he's released, the catcher probably doesn't have much time to think about what kind of pitch it's going to be. Because I just need to catch this thing.
So there's only one down here.
With the runner at first. No, there's 2 out.
There are 2 outs. So, and now their cleanup hitters up.
Can we fix that we got 2 outs rather than 1? Thank you.
So first pitch is a strike. That's, again, a good way to start. But
Sammy, you got back. Tristan, over 4.
And that's Hernandez with the fly into left field, and it drops. So right in back of the baseline, and I don't think anybody was in position to get that because they were playing him deep.
Yeah, and I think he was really fooled. Like Will just threw, that was a changeup, and he had fooled him a lot because he was way out on his front foot, but he had the presence of mind to keep his hands back, and he got just enough to get it over the third baseman. So that's a good, because he was fooled, but that's a good piece of hitting.
Good reactive hitting.
Good, yeah.
Your hitter now is Kevin Alarcon. And Alarcon being an outfielder by trade, right-handed batter.
Again, they're already down by 1, so Mountain View really wants to keep this a 2-1 game.
They need to get out of this inning, and he tipped that one all the way to the backstop. 0-1 count.
You know, this is a heck of a game. 2-1, 5th inning. Good high school baseball game right here.
Just what we hoped we'd get. And
that and no rain.
And that and no rain. Well, if we had too much of the other, we wouldn't have had the one either. Now, would we? And not much wind either. Straight in there.
So that's a nice pitch. I think he's way ahead. So this is where you've got to be really careful. Don't give him too much of the plate. Maybe waste a pitch. Let's see what he chooses to do here. He might throw another curve.
Let's see how much of a cat and mouse game he wants to make this. And he backs off a little bit.
So you know what that's where the pitcher, if the pitcher's taking too long and you're a batter, you can actually freeze. And so, you know, you never take your hand off the bat. You say time to the umpire. And that you could, because otherwise you're just not going to have a good at bat.
And that's way up high, and that will be out of play.
Yep, over on the track, well behind us.
Well, probably not too many running, but if there was, they might have gotten a surprise there. I have never seen an umpire say, no, you can't have time if a batter asks for it.
I've experienced it where and this is from learning, you know, the young kids, they're in the batter's box and they're getting, you know, the pitcher's taking a long time in the set or whatever, and they take their hand off to call time. Well, if the ump doesn't give it to them, now they have one hand on the bat and the ball's coming down, which is why what you teach them is you always have two hands on the bat. You just say it. And I've seen it where they haven't gotten it. Typically at the high school level, they get it.
A little different, though. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that the umpire would say, no, you're going to take this pitch, buddy, you know. And another foul off, and that one will be headed onto the soccer field. So
that's right.
By the time we get done here, every sport will be represented by a foul ball. There'll be one in the wrestling room. There'll be one in the pool.
That's exactly right. And, you know, isn't this a beautiful field? This is a grass field. It's not the turf field. It's true dirt and grass. And in the morning, the sun rises up above it with the water glistening on the grass. It looks like diamonds. It's a beautiful park.
I think Kevin Costner would be proud of that description.
Well, let's have a catch.
Speaking as one who's been around this district for a long time, they at Mountain View and Los Altos, they take really good care of their facilities here.
Well, we're lucky to live here. I mean, our kids growing up in this place is a great place to grow up.
Now, your son and then my boy is going to turn 10 years old next week.
Oh, wow.
And so he'll be coming here to Mountain View in about 4 years. So
that's wonderful.
Couldn't be more excited for him.
That's wonderful.
Probably because he doesn't want to be at the same school with his old man.
Oh, that's a nice curveball.
And that was exactly what the Spartans needed to get out of this inning without too much trouble. So that brings us to the bottom of the fifth. That's where we're headed. Spartans down 2-1. Back here at Mountain View High School, Mike Messner and Brian Lilly headed to the bottom of the fifth inning, and the Spartans down again at a 2-1 deficit. Your batter to start off is Kay Cox, and Coach, you're pretty familiar with him and his brother Aaron, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm very familiar. So you pronounce it's a British name. You pronounce it Kai, and Kai Cox has that long flowing hair. His nickname is Sunshine, and great kid. In fact, he was on our traveling team, and we went to New York to Cooperstown to play in a 104-team tournament, and he's a really good ball player.
You know, right now he's facing a very good pitcher.
Yes, he is.
So Nam has built up a 1-2 count so far.
Yep. And now if he's sitting on a fastball, here comes the curve. Yep, there it was.
And there it is. And there it went. And Kai sounds like he's a very patient hitter too, from what I can tell here. And for being a sophomore, I mean, that speaks a lot to his maturity.
Exactly. And actually by age he's young enough to be a freshman, so which is why we were able to take him to Cooperstown with the 12-year-old.
Nice. That one a little high.
So it's a full count.
And Kai's only 5'10", so the strike zone is going to be an issue for Justin. And
blew it by him.
Yep, he's not going to be happy about that one.
Blew it by him. You can see on the look on his face, he's not happy.
No. That'll bring up Tyler Wu. We haven't seen Tyler so far this game.
Tyler's another young product from here. He's played with, I think he's even played with Justin. That's why he's just smiled out at the mound.
Well, this ought to be a fun at bat for both of them. That one chopped over Justin's head, on to second, on to first.
One pitch,
and that'll put him away.
So you have a freshman coming up here on the on-deck circle. I think this is Kesselring's first at bat coming up to the plate, and then in the on-deck circle is a freshman.
Gabe Harris.
That's right.
Is up here, and he is a freshman, and he is one of only 2 freshmen on this squad. The other being Gabe Barrett.
That's right, and both Gabes.
Gabe squared.
That's right.
When they play Los Altos, he'll be against Gabe Stewart.
That's right. That's right.
Colleague and a good friend.
Yeah, and now Kesselring, like I said, transferred in, I think from Michigan. Big, strong kid, good hitter, just a good, solid baseball player.
And he's ahead in the count now, too. And seeing that one was going to be a little low, so he wasn't biting on that one. Do you have some concept of how many pitches Justin has thrown so far?
You know, it's the, let's see, it's the bottom of the fifth, so and there's 2 outs, so he's 2/3 through the fifth. You know, you're averaging ballpark 15 to or so pitches an inning.
So guess about 70?
I think he's 70, 75. Yeah, would be my guess.
Okay.
And, you know, I pitched, and your arm starts to get, you know, pretty tired around 80 pitches. You're starting to feel it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, what happens is you start to leave the ball up. Like your fastball loses a little velocity. You leave it up. Curve doesn't snap off. Oof.
Ooh. And he'll take his base.
Now you have the young freshman, Gabe Harris.
Gabe Harris, an outfielder.
Now watch this kid's speed. I've coached Gabe. He's a good basketball player. He played on the JV team here. He's just a good all-around athlete. And I think his sister's playing soccer, I believe, at San Jose State. So just an athletic family.
Left-handed batter, and that one gets away from Collins. And Kesselring says thank you very much and heads down to second and steams in untouched.
Now look at this. This is good. This shortstop, that was really good. What he's telling Justin is he's like, calm down, relax, you got this. You know, I love it when teammates help teammates, and that was, I think Justin needed a little bit of that right then.
And it's an element of baseball that isn't paid attention to much, and that's a shame, because baseball is a team game after all.
It sure is.
So we're looking at 2 outs.
I think it's 1-1 now.
It is 1-1, that's right. So I think Justin is just trying to get out of here. And he just got 1 pitch closer to that.
I think Gabe didn't like that call. It looked like that was a little outside. But now Gabe's got to protect. Now 1 and 2, Justin could get out of this. But, you know, here's the danger. If he throws a curve in the dirt, Gabe will, you know, drop third strike. He will get to.
And a successful steal there. And Kesselring makes it all the way around to third, and no chance at all.
No. Good block by the third base. You know, you see that third baseman really blocked it. But again, if this ball, the danger of throwing a curve right here is if it bounces in the dirt, if it gets away from the catcher, Gabe's got the wheels to get to first, and then the run scores.
Yes, that's right.
It's really, this is a big pitch.
Kesselring taking a big lead off there.
Oof. Full count. I don't know how he laid off of that with 2 strikes.
Well, he's going to have to come in now. And let's see what he does. Oh! Watch that one coming.
Struck out looking. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one, especially with a runner at third. And that gets us out of the 5th inning. We'll head to the 6th in just a couple of minutes. Score, Menlo 2, Mountain View 1. New pitcher for the Spartans, that's Gabe Barrett on the mound right now. Gabe is a freshman, 5'8", and he's also played around the infield a little bit. And we were talking about Gabe squared a couple of minutes ago, Coach. What can you tell us about Mr. Barrett?
He's also new to the area, so I don't know too much about him. I've seen a couple of practices, seen him in the cage, and looks like a ball player, and clearly he is as a freshman he's playing on a strong Mountain View squad. So I have not seen him pitch, so I'm looking forward to seeing him right now.
He's coming in from left field, which is where he started this game. And he is facing Julian Hernandez, the Knights' first baseman. And he's got an 0-1 count to work with. That one's high, 1-1.
Okay, bud. Here we go, 1-8. Here we go, kid. Here we go, kid. Here we go, 1-8. Come on, kid.
That one smacked hard, but not going anywhere.
Way out of play. I think that one's over on the football field as well. He's looking pretty good so far. He's pounding the zone. Now let's see, with 1-2 count, let's see if he has a curve here. Ooh, came in hard on the hands.
Yeah,
you know, that's one of the toughest pitches to handle is when they come in basically hard on the hands. It's very difficult to get the bat around. I used to hate that pitch thrown to me. I'd rather have low and outside and hit it to right field.
I don't blame you. But Hernandez did get a piece of it,
yes,
to his credit.
To his credit, that's right.
Now we're looking at a 2-2 count right now. And Barrett's looking a little nervous, but he's keeping control of things.
Yeah, he's looking like a freshman, but pretty talented.
Not to put freshmen down.
No, not at all. But I mean, looking like a freshman at varsity, that
is rare.
It is rare. It's not usual, and he's tell you, I'm impressed so far. He's, like I said, he's pounding the zone. This kid just keeps fouling it off.
Yeah, he's showing his coach that he deserves to be here.
Yeah, I think so.
And straight and true, he gets his first strikeout.
Wow. He froze him. I think the batter was looking for a little different pitch than he got. Here comes this guy 2 for 2 with 2 bunts. You know, this is let's see if he squares around again. I don't think I've ever seen somebody bunt 3 times for 3 hits.
That might be a first, like, ever of all time in any level of baseball right there. But that's Landon Smith. And
he did it
as predicted. He went for it.
Wow. He's so confident in his ability. So it does take back control. And there's a game called Pepper.
Yes.
Right? And that game of Pepper really teaches you back control. So this guy's got good and confidence.
And that time he went around the old-fashioned way.
But did you see he squared around? So that's called a slash, where they square around and then they pull the bat back and they try and hit it. Typically, you'll do that where you've got, let's say, bases loaded, or let's say a guy at second and third, and you're trying to get him in. You can fake the bunt so they're all charging in, and then you slash at it and try and hit it by a charging in infield.
This young man, and here we go. He
struck him out.
Well, I think you came close to seeing history there.
I think so.
But not quite. But you did see a piece of history for this game, because that's 2 straight strikeouts.
That's 2 backwards Ks, as they call them. Strikeout looking for a young freshman pitcher. That's pretty impressive.
And I think he's earned his lunch.
I think he has.
Now facing down. Who's our Menlo? That is Bennett Norman, right fielder. Swing and a miss.
I don't know if you heard that the coach for Mountain View said to Barrett, "You're all right, but what'd you do right there?" He goes, "I rushed it." And that's what he worded, and the coach said exactly, "You rushed it." So that pitch, he slowed it down. Same with that one. He's really impressive. It's 1-2. That's a very quick 1-2 on this batter.
We've got some double consonants in this at-bat. We got Barrett and Bennett.
And it's a battle. Oh, there you got him.
Oh, my goodness. And that is a strong pitching performance.
He struck out the side.
Struck out the side, and you don't see that often in any level of high school, much less on a day like today. But,
and as a freshman.
Yep. So he deserves a whole lot of credit, and I think he's going to get it.
And I don't know if you noticed that the ball was in the dirt on that strike 3.
Yes.
So now he can actually run. The batter can run.
Correct.
And the catcher, what the catcher and the first baseman do is they say if the ball's on the inside, they say inside. If it's on the outside, they say outside, which then positions the first baseman to expect a throw on the inside of the line or the outside of the line. Really important.
Bottom of the 6th coming up here at Mountain View High School. Menlo holding on to a 2-1 lead, but Coach, we just saw a really remarkable pitching performance from a freshman by the name of Gabe Barrett, and I think if we were giving Player of the Game award so far, he'd get mine.
Well, it's either him or Nam. You know, Nam for Menlo has really pitched a great game, and he's knocked in a run and with a couple of hits. But I'll tell you right now, that was probably one of the best pitching performances I've seen as a freshman at the varsity level.
And he has a lot to be proud of.
You got a new pitcher for Menlo and the top of the lineup for the Mountain View Spartans.
And that's Tristan Silviera. And the man delivering to him is Kevin Alarcon, who came out of center field to pitch now for the Knights.
Looks like he's got a live arm. I think Justin Nam had a nice day. Justin looks like he's in center field, so it looks like they just swapped.
They just swapped, that's right. And Tristan got a piece of that one. Tristan's just a sophomore, but he's got quite a bat. I mean, he's leading the team and way ahead of the national average in at least 3 different categories. So he's somebody that if there are any major league agents looking in, you might want to give this boy a second thought.
Well, I tell you, with when I used to coach on these little fields around Mountain View, Los Altos, with my older son, who's graduated now from college, actually, Tristan was around as a little kid. He was always wanting to get in. He was always wanting to, hey, could you throw some extra pitches to me? Hey, could you hit me some fly balls? He's, you know, in hockey words, we call it a rink rat. He's a field rat. He just always wanted to be around the baseball field, and it shows in his game.
Somebody who got bitten by the bug early.
I think so. He loves baseball.
And that one's high.
Alarcon's throwing hard, and he's throwing hard. This is a good battle right here.
He's got a full count to, and
he just walked him.
Yeah. He did, but Tristan took off as if he was running.
Well, you know what? That's good baseball. Again, this is just good fundamental baseball. If, because imagine if that ball hits this, you know, geometrically shaped backstop, and it bounces towards third or all the way up towards first. You could actually get to second. Let's see if Sam. It'll be interesting. Let's see if Sam will bunt him to get him to second, or if Tristan will or try and steal.
Well, there's your bunt. And that is as straightforward a baseball move as you can possibly make.
That's right. Well, now you're out of the double play. You've got your 3-hitter up in Aaron Cox. You got your 4-hitter up in Anand Subramanian. 2 very good contact hitters, good singles hitters.
And a runner in scoring position.
And a runner in scoring position, the tying run. So it's pretty important.
Great bunt right in there. Whoop.
So that's
and that one, that's probably going to be out of play from what I can tell. Yeah.
So that was textbook baseball, to just move him into a scoring position, and now you have 2 chances. Baseball's a game of chances.
That's right, and you got to take those chances.
That's a great bunt by Sam. Pitcher didn't even look at second. He knew he was there.
Checking on the runners. Here's the delivery. And just a little bit high on that one.
Also, it starts to put pressure on the pitcher. If he throws a curve in the dirt and the ball goes by the, you know, Tristan has a lot of speed at second, so now he's at third. Now a pass ball is a tying run. There's just a lot of pressure to keep that guy. Oh,
and
right back up the middle.
Into center field. Coming in to score.
Well, let's see. Safe.
And he made it. Tristan Silviera made it there, and that could not have been an easy move for him to make, but the Spartans have tied the score up. Let's see that again.
Yeah, so that's just a great piece of hitting right back up the middle. Now you have Nam, you know, has a great arm, but probably has a tired arm after throwing so many innings.
And a head-first slide on not the greatest delivery from center field.
No, I think, Nam's been pitching the whole game, and so he's probably a little tired out there. But there's a difficult rule here where the catcher is blocking the path to the plate. And in fact, I think Blue is talking to him about that. He's got to give the runner a path because they've eliminated the ability, like when I played, to truck the catcher where you just run him over because of the Buster Posey rule and all the, the Ray Fosse injuries, all those times. Well, that head first slide, that's dangerous.
Yeah, they always have, the coaches I've talked to say they never want young players to do that because there's such a risk of injury and that one,
okay,
he's in there.
Aaron Cox just stole third. Now, what's interesting is did you see Anand's not a bunter, but he faked bunt, and I think that's just to obscure the catcher just long enough to get Aaron there. And again, Aaron outslid the tag because the throw was there.
So now we're looking at Mountain View trying to break this game wide open. And that one was hit hard and hit nowhere in particular.
Now just lying down the first baseline, foul. Yeah, so now watch this slide again, head first, but to the outside of the bag. See that?
Well, that one seemed like it was a little bit more
square.
Downtown.
Yeah, a little bit more square.
So I think he
just beat it.
He beat it because of speed and because of a delayed throw. And
wow, that was a good curveball. Did you see how Anand sort of dipped his shoulder because he was thinking it might even hit him? As coaches, what we say is as they take a minute to talk, if it's a slow curve, it hitting you isn't going to hurt, and you get a free 90. So he sort of ducked his shoulder because if that didn't break, it was going to hit him, and then he'd get a free 90.
Yeah.
But that ball really broke, so Alarcon just snapped off a nice curveball.
And I think it says a lot about Alarcon's seasoning as a pitcher, because he realizes the situation he's in, and he realizes he's got to buy all the time he can.
And he also knows that this hitter's a very good fastball hitter.
And he's a big guy, too. So
he is a big guy.
Swing and a high drive right into center field. That'll bring home Aaron Cox. And the Spartans have taken the lead. First time that they've led in this one. 3-2.
Nice piece of hitting. Didn't try to do too much. Just right back up the middle. I love that when that happens. That just means that you're hitting the ball square.
And he took every bit of that weight that he had, shifted it in exactly the right way, which is, if you got it, you use it, right?
That's right. But you know what? He didn't try and do too much.
Here we go.
When you see this, watch, he just put a nice swing on it. Now look at Justin. Justin puts his hand up. He's a smart player in center. He puts his hand up like maybe he's going to catch the baseball. And what that can do is that can freeze the runner at third, like, ooh, maybe I better tag up. So that's smart deception by Justin in center field.
Great instinct. Well, now we're back with one out, and the Spartans have taken a 3-2 lead.
They've put in a pinch runner for Anand Subramanian at first. Get a little bit more speed on the bases.
Paulo Pimentel, if I'm not mistaken. And your batter is Jared Norris. And Jared went around very early on that one. Kind of telegraphed that. Doesn't matter at this point because he wasn't able to contact, but
now Jared had that big hit to knock in the first run. He had the big hit to knock in the first run. Let's see if nice and calm.
Now, Coach, the man in the on-deck circle, I hope that you will be giving a completely objective comment on him when he comes up to bat.
Absolutely.
Okay, because I think you know him rather well.
Yeah, all these players are all these players in some way, shape, or form are my sons. I love, the first guy that shook my hand as he walked in today was Justin Nam of the Menlo Knights. So, Yeah, I care for all these kids. It's fun to see them.
Yeah, runner goes, and in keeping with a lot of tradition today, the pickoff attempt did not get to where it needed to go, at least not at the right time. So now, Mountain View with a runner on second and one out. Although Jared Norris looking at an 0-2 count. Ooh.
Foul ball.
Foul.
Just foul.
And the rule on that is that if it does not go over the bag,
That's
if
right.
it is to the left of the bag, it is a foul ball.
That's exactly right. And that one was close, but not. It wasn't too tough of a call. And you see when the umpire raises his hands like palms up, that means it's a foul ball. If it's fair, he will be pointing towards the field. And that's why you can instantly tell.
So now Jared's going to come back and do it again. Still got an 0-2 count.
He's shaking off the signs. See, he was shaking off the signs. He probably shaked off 3 signs there, and then Jared wisely called timeout. You got to take control of the at bat as a batter.
Now there's the psychology of pitcher versus hitter, isn't it?
Yes, there is. Probably one of the best books on that is called The Mental Aspects, I think, of baseball or of hitting. It's a really good book. In fact, I was down at Giants fantasy camp, and one of the Giants says, "That's my Bible." He said, "That's my Bible." He says, "I got a dog-eared copy of that on my nightstand." He goes, "I read it all the time because hitting is a mental game."
And Coach Lilly has just earned his commission for selling another copy of that book. And that one's popped up and out of play. So the duel continues between Alarcon and Norris.
And you know what's fun about watching a pitcher? I mean, this is one of the beautiful things about baseball. It's a true battle between the pitcher and the batter. And, they sum it up in one thing. They say hitting is all about timing. They say pitching is all about disrupting that timing.
It's a good way of thinking about it.
This pitcher is doing this a lot. I think that was Jared that called timeout there.
I think it was. Popped up. It'll be a long run, and I think that one's out of play.
Yeah, it hit the fence of the batting cages over there.
Talking about shaking off the signals, Coach. How much of an element is that? If you've got a lot of that going on, does that indicate that there's a series of miscommunications between the different parts of the battery?
Yeah, if you're seeing that a lot, then they need to call time and get on the same page, as they say. And these kids probably have 3, maybe 4 pitches, so they shouldn't have that many. They shouldn't have that many shakeoffs.
Jared goes down on strikes. And the batter is Jake Lilly.
Yeah, I know this kid.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Been coaching this kid since he was 2 and could say ball.
Well, he's a 5'8" senior and a utility player. And now he's facing down.
Yeah, and he'll be going to Gonzaga University in the fall. And he won't be playing sports because that's D1. But he says, "Dad, I'm ready to be an intramural star."
He's going to have a great time.
I think so.
That one's high to him. 2-0, no, 1-0 count.
Now, if I was coaching him right now, I'd say, "Sit fastball, son. Sit fastball."
Well, I'd say you are. You're just not going to. I can't have you yell it out over the air.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on, Jake.
swing and a miss. 1-1. That pitch seemed a little low to me.
Sure did. He's you can tell he's upset. He's pinch hitter. It's hard to come in cold like this, but he would tell me, he's like, Dad, that's an excuse.
That one just outside.
2-1. It's a good hitter's count here. Let's see if he can do something. His bat looks a little slow. We'll see. He just got back from basketball, so he's only been out 2 weeks in baseball form. He played for the Spartan basketball team, so I think he's still rusty.
Yeah, well, I was at that game against Los Altos just a few nights ago.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah,
that was a heck of a game.
Was on the air for that, and that was a heck of a game.
He needs to get ready. He just got quick pitched.
Here's the delivery from Alarcon. Chopper, handled by second baseman, throws to first, and the side is retired. So Mountain View taking a lead on its own turf and on its own terms as we head to the 7th. The score, the Spartans 3, the Knights 2. And we're back here at the top of the 7th inning here at Mountain View High. And the Spartans looking to close this one out, now sitting on a 3-2 lead. The first lead that they've had in this game, and they came by it with real style, didn't they, Coach?
Yeah, that was a great half inning. Just good, solid baseball, started by Tristan, and really everybody moving the line, as they say. And now it's up to Barrett, the freshman, to close it out. They're 3 outs away from a victory, but it's 3 long outs.
And they're starting off against Luca Espinoza, the third baseman. And he looked at a ball. And now he's looked at 2 of them. Pitcher once again, Gabe Barrett, and Gabe struck out the side in the 6th inning. So he's certainly no stranger at this point. And he's gotten a lot of credit.
No, but there's nothing like a bottom of the 7th, or I mean a 7th inning, and now he's quickly gotten behind. He's 3-0. My guess is Espinosa will take this pitch, so he'll just watch it, and then hopefully look for a good pitch to hit on 3-1.
And he did take it, which again is one of those things that from Little League on where they say you never swing at a 3-0 pitch.
That's right. They give you a 5th sign, and that typically means take a pitch. Take means don't swing. Which I always thought was funny that they say take a pitch, and it means don't take it. There's strike 2.
So now we got a full count. So to add just a little bit more drama,
of course,
to this one, because you can't have too much of that in baseball. And here's the pitch. And he got a piece of that one. That'll go back to the backstop, and so we'll back it up and do it again.
Yeah, there's nothing like, 3-2, top of the 7th. Pressure's on both of them.
Swing and a miss.
4 batters. He's faced 4 batters. He struck out 4 batters.
And he has struck them all out.
Now, top of the order. So this is that kid, J.C. Ing. Again, flat swing. He's hit the ball hard every time.
But he has not faced Gabe Barrett before.
No, so this will be good. Freshman on freshman.
What a contest.
And they're going to be facing each other maybe for the next 3 years.
Exactly.
Four years of high school ball.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. If they can stay healthy, stay interested.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh. And that one probably slipped off his fingers a little bit.
Yeah, or stuck to his hand. I don't know if I've seen that one. He threw it probably, we call those a scud.
Yeah.
He threw that probably 6 feet.
7 feet ahead of off to the plate, yeah. Ooh. Deep one to center, and that one's going to fall. Ooh, and And the two outfielders got into, I think, some sort of a tangle up there. I don't think they had a disagreement.
Now look at this play. So the ball was hit exactly where they weren't. It drops between, but look, they run into each other. But Cox has the, look at this, the boom from his, as he's falling, he throws it in.
That's determination for you.
Look at that. And if you didn't have the wheels that J.C. Ng has, you know, he might have gotten out.
Now, here's a real test for Gabe Barrett, though, because he's in the 7th inning. He's out of the stretch, 1 out. Of course, 1 double play ball would change all that, but given that JC's at second, it's going to have to be a line out. And I have seen this line out. Like if he hits a rocket to the second baseman and JC's caught off, you can double him off. He's facing Ian Collins, and he just sort of put him back in his kennel there. No offense, Ian.
Well, now you've got your second, you know, number 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up. Yeah, this is a real test for the young freshman.
The pitch. And that will be out of play.
But you can see how much this Mountain View squad wants it. Gabe Barrett ran all the way behind the plate. The catcher pounced out of his crouch like a cat. And
Well, now that they have the lead and they had that extraordinary inning in the 6th, so they've really come to life.
Yeah, they sure have. And it's 0-2, so now you got to be careful and smart here.
And that one's lined into the outfield.
Uh-oh, it could be a double play. Nope. Almost a double play.
That could have ended it very quickly there, Coach, but he did get the hitter out.
That's right.
And no more damage is done. The runner did not advance, so he's got 1 to go, and he's looking happy and relieved.
Well, look at this play. So he put a nice swing on the ball. Kai Cox in right comes up, makes a nice catch, and on the run throws it. Almost a double play. But now here's Justin Nam. He's done damage both on the mound, great outing, and he's done damage at the plate. And so I think Coach says, hey, Coach Mims says, let's have a little chat about this. We got speed at second.
And we got power at the plate. So let's say finish this one carefully and let's go home.
Now this is interesting. If there's 2 outs, so I probably won't do it. But I've seen in other cases where you have a hot hitter like Nam, if there was only 1 out, you could probably put him on base, maybe pitch around him or intentionally walk him so you can get into a double play situation. You won't do that in this case because, you know, you don't want to put anybody on where a big swing of the bat could win the game or at least put you in a position to win the game. So he's going to pitch to him, and let's see. Maybe he's saying, be careful. Be careful, son. Be careful with this hitter.
And he's looking careful. Straight in. So it also means that Nam has got to be just as careful on the other end of that.
Yes. Yeah, this is the game right here for Menlo.
Ooh, scud.
Do you know what he did? That was interesting. He was more worried about the runner. So if I'm coach, I'm like, forget about the runner. Concentrate on the plate.
Yeah.
See, watch. He does a little, it's not going to show it, but he does a little, as in the middle of his delivery, he checked back, which is why he threw the scud. He's really got to concentrate on the batter, nothing else.
Got to be tough for a young pitcher like that.
Oh, it's really hard.
And it's in there. 1-2. But he's got that runner in his peripheral vision.
Yep. Just do not pay him any mind.
We'll see what he has in his veins right now.
Ooh.
So Justin Nam.
Uh-oh. Now you put the go-ahead run at first.
But at least he didn't put Justin Nam in traction.
Yeah.
Because with a pitch like that, it's 1 inch the wrong way, and you're in trouble.
Well, you know what you teach at a young age and at this age, you know, you can see that hurt. Justin's down at first, just sort of walking it off. But
Yeah.
you teach them to turn their back. You never, you know, as you're a right-handed batter, you never open up. You always turn, because if you're going to get hit in the back. You never want to get hit in the front, in the face, or in the chest. So Justin did the right thing, but still hurt.
Well, you mentioned Buster Posey earlier, Coach, and of course the thing that I think of is opening day last season against, I believe it was the Diamondbacks, and Buster took a fastball to the head.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And it made me feel sorry for Mr. Posey. And my son, who loves Buster Posey simply because his name is Gerald, and that's my son's middle name, and that's the only reason he likes Buster Posey, but he just, oh my gosh, is Buster Posey okay? Is Buster Posey okay?
Is Gerald Posey okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the big. Now let's see if this freshman needs to calm down. So here's an interesting. That was a beautiful pitch. Here's an interesting thing. So do you steal Justin? This is strategy. Do you steal Justin? Now you have two people.
Runners at the corners.
And then, but if he steals and he's at second, and then do you throw down? Because if you don't get him, the guy at third can score. A lot of strategy right here.
Strike two.
He's throwing knee-high fastball paint on the outside corner.
And he's facing Sam Wesselow, the shortstop.
Is he a senior? Is Sam a senior?
Don't know what year he is.
No, don't know. Yeah, he's a good ball player.
Here we go, 1A, you me, kid. A lot of confidence in this pitch. Come on.
Taking some time.
Yep, here goes.
And the pitch.
Strike three.
And that's your ball game. So Gabe Barrett pitches out of 2 straight innings, and behind some strong hitting from his offense, the Mountain View Spartans take this game from the Menlo Knights. And what a game it was.
What a game. That's a shocker to me that this young freshman, he throws, strikes out the side in the 6th, and then in the 7th he strikes out 2, after giving up the hit to Ing, and then the hit, hits batsman on Nam.
And in front of a Mountain View crowd, everybody's going to go home happy.
Yeah.
So the producer of KMVT15 Sports is Rene Antonio Mendoza. Director is Tyler Wiest. Thanks a lot, Tyler. Camera was Tim Erskine. The other camera was Daniel Negretti. Michael Clark, also a cameraman. Boy, the cameramen know more about baseball than we do, Coach.
They sure do.
Special thanks to Mountain View High School. For Brian Lilly, my name is Mike Messner, reminding you, be sure to run for the roses, but don't forget to stop and smell them. See you next time, everybody.